We're talking with Ray Heim from Carroll, Iowa, who is currently making her way across the United States running. And she is making herself about, what, 25 to 30 miles per day, sometimes a little more than that?
In between 20 and 30 around there, sometimes a little less. But.
And Ray, you're in Carroll now, which is your hometown, and you got a chance to catch up with some family, which is what you're doing right now. So I certainly appreciate your time. But this morning you left a little bit after 6 o'clock from Jefferson. Talk about how the run went today, and if you can kind of explain maybe the feelings you were starting to feel as you got closer to home.
It was really fun. It was nice being around people running with me, and it's just nice to know that I'm home now, so that's always a good feeling. And the roads were a little bit sketchy in between Glidden and Carroll. I thought we were gonna get hit by a few cars, especially like with running barefoot because there's no shoulder, so it's like I can't run on the gravel, so that was a little bit difficult, but we got through it and made it, so yeah.
Now I know I talked to you before you started and everything, and you had kind of talked about why you were running barefoot. Can you kind of go over that again for anybody who maybe hadn't heard about this run you're doing?
Yeah, back in last spring, maybe March or around there, I broke my big toe, and I had to have the toenail removed, so I just ran barefoot ever since then because it was just more comfortable to go without shoes.
And you just kind of fell in love with running here not all that long ago as well, right?
Yeah. Back the summer after my freshman year, I just randomly entered a 7-mile race, and I've just loved it ever since. So.
Let's talk a little bit about the trip you've been on so far. You started in Boston, correct? Or near Boston anyway. Talk about some of the places maybe you've been, some of the memories you're going to take home.
Well, all the people I've met along the way, that's really been the most exciting part for me just because it's so much fun and everyone's been so great. But Maryland and Ohio were probably two of my favorite places just because I stayed with a lot of the same people mainly throughout those same states. Like I was with the same family out throughout the state. In Maryland, I stayed with all the McGurks, and they're just so awesome. Like their little son, he called me the runner girl, like the entire time. He was like 4 years old, and he was like the cutest thing. But yeah, so that was a really good experience, and just probably one of my favorite places I've been was Philly because I finished my run that day on the Rocky Steps, so that was really fun. Yeah.
And tell us about that. Was it kind of unique? Did you get pictures up there by the statue and stuff?
I actually have like a video of me running up the steps, and I have a picture by the statue. So. Yeah.
Did you do the Rocky jump around and pump the arms in the air?
I didn't. I was a little too tired for that.
How did you plan out this trip? Kind of tell us a little bit about that.
My mom told me, she's like, well, you're not going to do it until you send me literally every single day, like the entire route that you want to take. And so I was like, okay. So I took 2 days and I just sent her my route, and then she edited it sort of so that I would have places to stay along the way and stuff like that. So yeah, and then originally I really had no rest days built in because I kind of bit off way more than I could chew. Like my miles were crazy insane, and so about the 9th day into my run, I was just exhausted. I was like ready to give in, I was done. But my mom and we decided that we were just gonna knock down my miles, and then like rather than doing 40 miles a day, I was just gonna do like on average 20 miles a day, and then we added in some rest days and stuff like that. So.
Is that giving you an opportunity to maybe do a little bit of sightseeing once you get to your locations?
Actually enjoy the run, because I mean, if I was still doing the crazy miles that I was at the beginning, I may as well have just been running 3,000 miles on a treadmill because I wasn't enjoying it at all. And the first week, like the people I stayed with were great, but it just sucked overall because I was just exhausted the whole time, and it just wasn't fun.
I know one of the areas you saw early in your run was Ground Zero. Tell us what it was like to be there and just kind of the feeling.
It was just, I don't know, really, that was like a really long time ago, but it was just interesting to be there. And like the one that was the most, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but when I went to the area in, I think it was in Pennsylvania, where the flight like crashed, where everybody took over the plane, and like that was amazing because it's like just like these regular people just totally were like, okay, well, it's either us or everyone. So they did that. That's totally like the greatest thing, I thought. But yeah, that was really interesting.
Now that you've kind of shrunk the amount of miles you're running, so you have a little bit more time, have you kind of stepped back and said, okay, I'm going to be around this so I can go see this site?
Yeah.
And if so, what are some of the sites that you've seen?
Well, originally I had planned out my route along so I could see all the places that I've always wanted to see because I've never been on the East Coast before. So, like just Philly and like Washington D.C., New York City, stuff like that. So, yeah. It's been fun.
Now you're getting a chance to stay with family and friends and just even maybe people you've never met before.
Yeah.
Talk about how that is working out for you.
It's like I said, it's my favorite part of the trip. It's forced me to come out of my comfort zone. I'm usually a pretty shy kid, so just having to talk to new people and meet a bunch of new people literally every single day has just been really awesome. It's been super fun. So.
What are you looking forward to in the back half of this trip, and where do you go from Carroll?
Well, I'll go straight across through Nebraska and then a little bit of Wyoming, Colorado, and right now I'm going to be going through Arizona, or New Mexico and Arizona, and then over California, but probably be looking forward to, like I have some cousins in Phoenix that I'll see, and then my sister Kendall, she lives down in the Las Vegas area, so she'll drive to see me in Arizona too, so that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to right now, and then the end, of course.
When is the end planned right now?
Like right around Thanksgiving, probably like November 17th area.
Now on this run, you're stopping, but you're also starting exactly where you stopped your run. Was that part of your original plan?
Yeah, definitely, because I don't want to cheat at all and just, gotta go all the way across. We gotta go back to where you started.
What were some of the toughest areas maybe that you've had to run through so far?
I would say parts of Philly were pretty rough. The Bronx was pretty rough. I mean, there hasn't been like a lot of areas where I felt that I wasn't secure safety-wise, so that's been good. But probably the toughest actually was running through Iowa, just because most of the roads are gravel roads that like the shortest distance from point A to point B, and so I've rolled my ankles a couple times, and because I've also had to wear shoes a couple times on the gravel roads, it's super uncomfortable, obviously, barefoot, but yeah, those are probably just the toughest.
How uncomfortable is it for you to put on shoes when you're not used to running in them?
It's really uncomfortable, and especially because I roll my ankles really bad anyway, so when I'm in shoes, it's even worse because it's like not used to it. It's just kind of like feels like I have weights on the bottom of my feet.
Now you've drawn a lot of attention as you've won across the United States. I know some major TV networks have picked up the story.
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you kind of surprised at how much attention this has drawn as you've went across?
It's really shocking to me because to me, it's like I'm just running. Like that's not any big deal, I guess. So I don't know. I guess it's really strange to me, but oh well.
Now I know you're also looking to raise some money for a good cause. Tell us about that cause and how that is coming along.
Yeah, there is this organization called Souls for Souls, and for every dollar that gets donated to the organization, a kid gets a pair of shoes, and 55% of those proceeds stay here in the U.S., and the rest go to 128 other countries.
And for people that want to donate, tell them how they can do that, and they can follow you on a website as well.
Yeah, they can go to my website, and the easiest way to get to that website is there's a link on the Run Girl Run page, which is called runGirlRun.com. They can just click that link and go there, and then there's a link to my fundraising page.
Okay. How much are you hoping to raise? How much are you at right now?
My goal was $5,000, and I'm almost to $4,000 right now, so I hope to exceed it, of course.
Are you surprised at how quickly you're raising the funds, or was this something that you figured would happen?
I'm actually pretty surprised. I thought my goal amount was like reasonable, and I was hoping I could at least reach it by Huntington Beach. So the fact that I'm like halfway done and I'm over halfway to my goal amount of shoes, that's awesome.
How nice was it to get to run and have some friends with you today, and then more people meeting you in Glidden, and then get home to see family today?
Yeah, that was really great. That made everything worth it. So yeah.
How many days are you going to be here before you head out again?
I should be here for about 9 days. I think I head out on the 10th.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate your time here today. Want to wish you the best of luck, and we hope to stay in touch with you as you continue to run.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ray.
No problem.